Sundu, your favorite mathematics teacher. As I promised, I'm just trying to test on the idea we discussed about on WhatsApp some few days ago. And I want to present the topic of algebraic processes too. And we are going to be seeing equations and formulae. Let me also say that for the whole duration of this course, we are going to be using the new general mathematics. So most of the exercises I'm going to be referring to, you already have them. And like I promised, I'll be sending the notes that I'm using also to our Google class. You can refer to that as the lesson notes. When we talk of equation, an equation is a statement that balances, an equation is a statement that two algebraic expressions are equal in value. Anytime you have one algebraic expression, let's say x minus 2y, and you say this is equal to, let's say A, this is an equation. The main thing about equations is that you have variables equated to themselves using the equal to sign. Okay? And let us see some examples of equations. Let us solve the following equations. Sorry, I will be very fast for sake of time. This example 1, we are solving we are going to be trying to do 3 plus 2y minus 24 equals to 14 minus 3y. Okay, let's see an example of this. And also let us try out 2k equal to 3k plus 4 minus 5k. Okay, let's see these two. I know they are simple, they are quite simple. You must have done stuff like this in your JSS classes. Let us see the first one. What we'll do is to employ techniques of collecting like terms. What that means is that we're going to be grouping the terms that have similar variables to one side of the equation, while the other terms that do not have those variables will be grouped to the other side. Okay? So we have from the first equation we have 3 plus 2y minus 24 equals 14 minus 3y. From this one, I can see that this term has a y, and this one also has y. And while on the other hand, the other terms there do not have any variables. So I'll move those terms that do not have variables. Or first, I'll group them together in one place, the ones that do not have any variables. So this will imply 3 minus 24 plus 2y equals to 14 minus 3y. Okay? And when we solve this, don't forget your number line when you are solving equations where you have a smaller number subtracting a bigger number. You would have 3 minus 24. That's going to give us what? Negative 21 plus 2y equals 14 minus 3y. To take this step by step, I would want to remove this guy from this side of the equation. So what I'm going to do is to add 21 to both sides. I am adding because that is the opposite of the negative sign that I have here. So when I add, they will negate themselves. So let's write that down, and we add 21 to both sides. When I do that, I'm going to have minus 21 plus 21 plus 2y equals 14 minus 3y plus 21. Okay? Then you see that this and this will negate themselves, because minus 21 plus 21 is equal to 0. So what we have here is going to be 2y equals to 14 minus 3y plus 21. When we add 14 to 21, what do we get? 35, right? So this means we are going to be having 2y to be equals to 35 minus 3y. Now the same thing we did here at this step, we are going to repeat it here. We are going to be adding 3y to both sides. For lack of space, I'm not going to write that out, but bear it in mind that every time you are solving, it makes your work neater and simpler when you write it out like this. So what I'm going to have here is going to be 2y plus 3y equals to 35. Don't forget, like I said, we are repeating the same step we did here, where we added 21 to both sides. And we discovered that 21 negated, and what we had left was 2y. In the same way, when we add 3y to both sides, 3y will be negated from this side of the equation. So when you add these two, what do you get? We would get 5y equals to 35. And here now we can easily find the value of y by simply dividing both sides by 5. We will get y to be equal to 7. Just to check, if you multiply 5 by 7, does that give you 35? Yes. Yes, it does. And that is our answer to the first equation. Let's try to see if we can manage this space in solving the second one. For this second one here, we have 2k equals to 3k plus 4 minus 5k. Before we start dealing with the two sides of the equation, it is much better if we deal with individual expressions on both sides of the equation. Okay? So here we are going to be writing this down as 2k equals to, I will bring these two together, I will group the terms. So I'll have 3k minus 5k, then plus 4. This would imply that 2k is equals to 3k minus 5k is going to give us negative 2k, then plus 4. And now what do? We would connect like terms. Bear in mind that collecting like terms simply means that we're going to add 2k to both sides. Since this is a negative, we are adding 2k to both sides. Another way to think about that is to say we are moving this to this other side of the equation, and every time we are moving this term, at any time you move across an equal to sign, the sign in front of that term changes. Always bear that in mind. So what we're going to have here is 2k plus 2k equals to 4. That implies that 4k is equals to 4. In other words, k is going to be a number such that if you multiply it by 4, the answer you get is 4. If you don't want to take that out, you can look at the coefficient of k here. That's the term that is multiplying the variable. It is called a coefficient. You can look at that coefficient and then divide both sides by the coefficient of k, which means that when we do that, dividing this by 4 will also divide this by 4. We are going to now have k equals to 1. I know that this is quite refreshing for you from most of the work you've done in your junior secondary school days. But we'll move on because we are restricted for time. Okay?